What
Go
really,
ahead, Brad.
yeah. What really makes you happy now, right now?
Hanging with your boys is the funnest thing to do, though.
Huh?
Hanging with your boys is the funnest thing to do.
Yeah. Hell
No matter
yeah.
how much money you have, it's still always going to be the funnest
Always
thing.
the best.
There's nothing else to do.
I
Like,
agree.
hanging with your boys and talking shit and laughing is always going to be the peak human experience.
Yeah, well, once you have it all, like, where do you go from that? Like, you get more.
You just
shit,
need-
more
I
shit,
think-
more
How many
shit.
close boys do you have?
Yeah.
Like you, Tristan,
Good.
who else?
Hanging with your boys is always going to be the peak thing. No matter, it doesn't matter if I have $100 million or I have $10. I'll be still sitting with Tristan laughing. That's
then-
Has that-
that's
have you-
always going to be the funnest
Have
thing
you
to
guys
do.
been like
Yeah.
that?
Well,
Does that talk to you, or
Yeah.
it's just like a bond?
It was semi-taught to us. We tried to fight when we were a kid, and our dad wouldn't have it.
Fuck yeah.
He was like, "No,
What do you?
the world's out to get
I
you
think
boys. You're on
people.
the same
I think
team."
there's a lot of people that don't understand the importance of like getting along with your relatives, and that's something that you guys show. I think people envy.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you have a brother, the idea is that you make your best friend possible out of him, right? Why else would you have a brother?
No, but I think there's a lot of like families that lack that. And
But this is the thing, and this is where I'm about to get. I need to shut up, man. I'm about to say some
Programs,
shit, right?
No
And
girls ever pressed you in public?
Zero. Absolutely not a single female in public has ever once said anything negative to me ever. In fact, quite the opposite. Oh, yeah, I wish there was more men like you, protect, provide, etc. Yeah, people take everything out of context. I've never had a single chick ever mad about anything I've ever said ever. Easy to do it. You have to be a strong individual. And that's why I think love comes from strength, which is why I always say strength is so important mentally and physically. I say that all the time. It's all I talk about. I say that if you're a man, the easiest way to improve your life in every single possible way is to just work on your physical strength, and your mental strength will follow, and you become a better person you can love. You know this yourself. Look at the size of you, right? You go in the gym, it's the biggest guys that are the nicest, and you can't pour from an empty cup. And before you give love to anybody else, you have to truly love yourself. And I think the easiest way to love yourself as a man is to be proud of yourself. And to be proud of yourself, you have to decide who you want to be inside of the metaverse, inside of the matrix. You have to decide the character you want to be.
Why do you
and try
think
your
people
best to
struggle with being proud of themselves?
I think because they know they're failing. I think that most people failing in life know very well they're failing. And it doesn't matter what avatar you decide to absorb or who you decide to be. You can decide to be it, and you know true in your heart if you're giving 100% of your energy towards becoming it or not. It doesn't matter if you want to become a famous musician. Doesn't matter if you want to become a bodybuilder. Doesn't matter if you want to become a pro fighter. Doesn't matter what you want to be. You know in your heart if you're actually trying or not. You have to decide what you want to be and try and become it. And a lot of the people who are genuinely unhappy or miserable in their hearts know they're not trying that hard.
Well, and I think they also focus on what everyone else is doing, right or wrong, and then judging outward. And everyone's like focused on this outward reflection of like what that person has and versus what they don't have, and it's all just like this just cycle of negativity.
Completely.
And it's just we found ourselves, especially with social media nowadays, we found ourselves like most people, because maybe they're not mentally strong enough to understand like, oh, wait, I need to create my own value instead of looking outwards and saying, well, fuck what that guy has or fuck that guy because I don't have it. But like, how do you think we fix it? Or can we fix it? And there's another question I want you to try. Can everyone be successful? Do you believe that?
Good question. So firstly, I'll answer, can everyone be successful? Okay. I think the world would be a terrible place if everyone had a free mind. You do need the slave minds.
I've heard you say that.
As annoying as they are,
Yeah.
you do need the slave minds. You do need the guy who believes that, working in the gas station is important and he's good at it. You need him. It's good. You need these
Yeah,
people.
but what if that guy just doesn't know any better though?
Good.
Or he's
This is what we're
limitations.
talking about.
Good,
though.
fine. The world can't all be so. Successful is all about self-definition, which is what I was saying at the beginning. You have to decide who you want to be, and if you wanted to be Joe Schmo and you pull it off, then you'll be a pretty happy, content person. To decide who you want to be. I think the people who are miserable it's the gap between their expectations and their reality. That's where the misery lies.
Yeah.
My expectations were always enormously high, even when I was a nobody. I knew I had to be filthy rich and a kickboxer. I know, but I knew I'm basic things. At the age of 15, I knew that if I'm the kind of guy that if I raise my voice, people are going to care. I'm not going to be the guy who starts shouting and everyone thinks it's funny. I know I'm going to be the kind of guy who is genuinely a formidable opponent in all realms of human endeavor. I know I'm going to have money. I know I'm not going to take shit
Where did
from
that come
nobody.
from though?
But
You can't just.
Yeah, I know.
I understand what you're saying because my whole life
you
I
had the
felt
same
like
thing,
there's
bro.
always more. I know that there's more. Like,
But I
it's
think
just-
a lot of people have that.
But the people who are miserable are the people who don't try hard enough to obtain it, because I actually believe, and this is another thing I'll say, I believe the universe is very giving. And this is another thing I'll say, I believe the universe is very giving. I think the universe and God himself is very giving. I've yet to meet somebody in all my years who is genuinely giving 100% of themselves day after day, doesn't snake anyone, firm handshake, look you in the eye, doesn't lie to nobody, and tries 100% who doesn't get what they want. I've never seen it. Every single person who doesn't have what they want, there's something in their story that doesn't quite add up. I've yet to see some guy have you ever seen a guy who eats right and trains his ass off and never misses a gym session ever not grow? Ever.
No, never.
Not
Ever.
what? Not what?
Grow.
Not grow. Not make
Ever.
gain.
It's just, that's the way the universe works, right? So if you're truly about it and you're truly trying your absolute best, you're going to do it. And that's what I believe. I believe the universe is extremely giving. So when I meet somebody and they go, I really wanted this and I don't have it, I say, you didn't want it.
Out of all
Wait.
like the successful people, most successful people in the world, would you say that all of them have like something in common in the sense of like some sort of hardship in their life? It's not.
Well, yeah. I mean, trauma is extremely important. And this actually goes back into answering the first part of your question, which is interesting. There's a study I read about stress. And it was saying that stress has a placebo effect attached to it because the placebo effect is extremely powerful. So they found some of the most stressed people in the world and they split them into 2 groups. And they're all equally stressed. They all have a bunch of cortisol in their blood.
Yeah.
The people who believed that stress was bad for you and that stress can hurt you, and they believed those media articles, were dying earlier. They were having heart attacks and having stress-related illnesses. The people who believe the opposite, who just said, stress is part of being successful. I like stress. When I feel stressed, I do my best. It makes me anxious. It turns my brain on. I like being stressed. Lived longer than average.
Yeah.
The point is, the same drug, how you look at it and how your body anticipates it, how you feel about it, affects the real world results, which goes back into what you were saying earlier about the jealousy. You're saying people look on social media and they get jealous and it demotivates them. That's because they decide to be demotivated by it. Do you know what happens when I get jealous of somebody? I fucking beat them.
Yeah.
If I look at somebody who has something I ain't got, I will take it from them by hook or by crook.
Well, when I watch other people on social media and I see someone killing it, like whoever it is, someone that fires me the fuck up.
I love it.
Like,
I wish someone could make me jealous. It's hard now. I got everything. I wish I could look at somebody and go, I think it's possible for somebody to stay in a scenario where they're truly uncomfortable. If you fall asleep on your arm and your arm really starts to hurt, even in the deepest sleep, you're going to wake up and move your arm. If you sit there and your life has been in a rut for 7 years, you are semi-comfortable in that rut. Sure, there's days you're pissed off. Sure, you're semi-annoyed by it. But there's also days where you just play video games, eat pizza, and you're kind of cool with it and it's no big deal. If you were truly unhappy and uncomfortable and discontent with your scenario, you wouldn't be in it.
So I don't
believe there's anybody who's truly me. When I was broke, I couldn't sleep. I'd be trying to go to bed thinking, how the fuck these people have Ferraris? I want a fucking Ferrari. I couldn't sleep.
But what were the first steps that you took when you're like, yo, I got to fucking change my life? What was the first thing you did? So people out there that might be going through it.
But I never had to like change my life because my life was never wrong. Because I